Diane in Denmark here. Rah, rah, rah. It is Thursday. Hope you're all fine and well this morning. Thursday in Denmark we call it Little Friday. You know, the Danes, they love hygge and looking forward to things. I've got a wee bit of hygge going on this morning because got caught in the rain coming home from a skinny dip this morning. And for those of you who are new here, yes, skinny dipping is the same as it is where you use. It's the Danish art of winter bathing. Myself and my besties, my best friends, we swim in the Danish sea naked all year round. It's a Danish thing, and we do it whether it's sunny, it started off sunny this morning, got caught in the rain, or whether it's in the month of December, January when there's snow and ice. It's a Danish thing. Anyway, I got a wee bit caught, but it's all right. The hook is going on. It's actually quite warm in here, so let me just take on my cardigan. As I always say at the beginning of my videos, please, before you watch any of my videos or before you go into the internet, set a timer, because we kind of get sucked in. Hold on, I've got a timer going. You know, we go looking for inspiration, but I don't want you sitting there, you know, in your bahookie for too long. We've got to be realistic about this. Set a timer, say, okay, I'm going to look for motivation, and then after that, go off and do something. And I'm going to be talking to you today. So if you've got laundry to fold, go and get that. I won't be cleaning with you, I'm going to be talking to you. So you can fold laundry, or if you're at the office, clean off that desk. Maybe you've got some shredding to do, tidy out a desk drawer. So you can listen to me while you do a wee bit of work. Now, we are on to day 4, day 4, of our little Back to Basics refresher course. I do this every year, and I'll put a link, if you've missed the previous videos or last year's one, I'll put the link to the whole series up there. All this week I've been giving you some simple but hopefully very effective ideas on how to get yourself organised. Now, we've been talking about, for example, on Monday I was talking about how you can implement a very easy cleaning schedule for your house. So not for the whole house, but so you're doing a weekly clean just to keep things ticking over. On Tuesday, yeah, it was Tuesday, I was talking about establishing some really basic daily routines, a morning routine and an evening routine. Not just to keep the house running, but to keep you running. You know, just simple things that by doing them every day, nothing difficult, but just doing things every day, making sure you get it ticked off. It's really going to free up your time and take the stress out of life. And yesterday, I was talking more about the plan for the house, like when we have a kind of weekly clean just to keep the general areas, you know, up and running. And then I was talking more about how after that you can get a bit more deep into things about the house in general. You know, you've got upkeep of the house, not things that need done on a daily or weekly basis, but perhaps a monthly basis, like perhaps you have a garage, maybe you have an office space, garden shed, things like that. How to implement it so that we're not kind of doing all the cleaning all the time. And today, on Thursday, day 4, I want to shift the focus back to ourselves, because a lot of people, when they're looking for ways to get organised, that the problem is the house. And yes, been there, done that. If you want to know why I had to start getting organised, I was super organised at work, but at home I was definitely not organised, and it was so chaotic. I'll put a link to my kind of story, how I got started. I'll put the link up there. But today I want to talk about getting all the other things organised, not like the you know, the cleaning of the house and you know, washing towels and stuff like that, but all the other stuff like planning your menus, making sure that you keep your friends on your radar, all those little tasks that you keep putting off. And it's what it is called the daily focus. Now in Flylady land, you don't need to be doing the Flylady stuff, but in Flylady land they've broken it into 7 days. Each day has a purpose. And I think it was probably, I found it really easy to get on board with the cleaning stuff with Flylady, because that kind of made sense. But and I used to work in the corporate world. I used to run a judge's chambers. I worked for Sir David Edward, who was British judge at the European Court of Justice in Luxembourg, and before that I used to work for Cameron Buchanan in Scotland before I moved. And I was very organised at work, but then when I had kids and when I was at home and started working from home, I thought, well, I don't really need to have set days for doing things because I can do things any day that suits me. I'm my own boss. Big mistake, you know how that goes. And I don't know why it took me so long to get into the daily focus things, but I'll run through the daily focus and you'll see that it doesn't matter what your circumstances is, whether you are at home with 4 kids under the age of 6, or whether you are working 2 shifts, or whether you are a carer, or whether you're an empty nester, or retired, or health issues. Just having that daily focus gives you a framework for your day and for your week. And the thing I love about it is, by having the framework, it takes all the guesswork out of things. It's like somebody else has already done the thinking for you, and you just got to follow the plan, which is what we all love. I mean, I've said this time and again, that if somebody gives me a plan and says, okay, you do this, I can follow it, but I can't kind of just conjure things up out of my head. And I know a lot of us are kind of going around with all those thoughts tumbling around. So anyway, I'll quickly go through what the Flylady daily focus is, and then I'll give you some tips on how you can adjust it to suit you. So hold on, let me just come a wee bit closer. Remember in the grab yourself, let me just have a wee drink of my tea. And it's actually quite nice tea. It was one of the, and I actually picked up some tea at our clothes swap yesterday. I got some fantastic things at the clothes swap party, but I'll make a separate video about that. And I know we all love the clothes swap stuff. Anyway, so what is on the daily focus? Well, I just run through the Flyladies one. Daily focus in Flylady. Monday is weekly home blessing hour, daily, you know, the weekly clean. And as I said before, Monday, you can either do it all in one go on any day that suits you, or you can spread it over the week. Tuesday in Flylady Land, as I like to call it, is plan and play day. What does that mean? That's like desk day, when you are perhaps planning menus, paying bills, looking at your diary, what's coming up. Oh, are we going to a wedding? Okay, do we need to take things to dry cleaners? Do we need to buy a gift? You know, the kids are going to scout camp. Just keeping an eye on what is coming up and being aware of what is coming instead of suddenly being faced with it. So Tuesday is desk day, anything that's involved with you know, office work, if you want to call it that. Wednesday is anti-procrastination day, which has got quite a funny title, but Wednesday is like a day that all those little things that you've been putting off because you don't want to do it or you think it's going to take too much time, that's the day you go for those. And remember, it doesn't need to be, you know, Wednesday. You can do these things on whichever day you like. Thursday is errand day. Errands, that's anything from going to do your weekly grocery shop, picking up prescriptions at the pharmacy, handing in your library books, dropping off donations at the charity shop, I don't know, buying stamps at the post office, going to the opticians, you know, anything that's involved with things that you have to do when you're actually physically outside of the house. Friday in Flylady Land is date night. Spend some time with your significant other or your husband or both of them, boom boom, or if you're single or whatever, you know, connect with some others or do something nice for yourself. Friday in Flylady Land is also fill up your car with petrol and give that a wee tidy out. We don't use the car much in Denmark, so I've got more focus on the bike, making sure the bike is kind of pumped up and ready to go. Oh, and also tidying out your handbag, your sports bag, things like that. So that's Friday in Flylady Land. Saturday in Flylady Land is family fun, actually doing something nice with the family. Doesn't mean going to Disneyland for 10 hours and spending a load of money, but just, you know, focusing on doing something nice with the family. And Sunday in Flylady Land is renew your spirit thing. I prefer to call it something like, you know, self-care and self-preservation. You know, do something that recharges your batteries. So you see, you've got all these things that are lined up, And it is easy to think, well, you know, do I have to do it on a certain day? I don't want to do it on a certain day. You don't have to do it on a certain day. And if you are, for example, working shifts, I know you won't be able to do those things. The idea behind it though is that you have a plan. Let me give you an example. Errand day. For a long time I would try and do my errands on a Thursday. I just went with the Flylady schedule because that was easiest just to follow along. When you see reminders, oh yeah. But it doesn't always work for me errand day on a Thursday. But because I've actually got a plan for things, because I've actually planned my menus on desk day, whichever day I choose to do that, because I've actually planned my menus, I've got my grocery list written down, because I actually know that, oh, I need to hand in library books, I need to go to the dry cleaners. When I have a chance to do my errand day, I've already got it set up. Do you see what I mean? Oh, there goes the timer. I've already got it set up. So even if I'm not following the exact schedule of doing it every single Thursday, when I've got an opportunity to do it, already in my mind I know, oh, okay, this is going to be my errand day today. So today I'm going to do all my errands in one go. I'm not going to be going out every day. You know, one day I'm going to go and post a parcel and then out again in the car on a Tuesday. Oh, I need to pick up prescription from the chemist. And then, oh, Wednesday we forgot to hand in the library. It's just putting everything in little kind of boxes. So whichever day it is, you can open the box and say, oh, what's in the box today? Okay, then this is what I'm going to do. So and I've made hundreds of videos about the daily focus where you can actually see me going through whether it's weekly home blessing hour, doing my cleaning, or whether it's plan and play day, what I do on plan and play day, and what I've planned for my menus. They're all in a playlist, a YouTube playlist there. As I said, I won't get into it today because there's lots of different details, but just think about it. If you've been resisting doing the daily focus, please take a wee look at it, because as I said, it gives you the framework for your week. It doesn't have to be set in stone, but it just does mean that we're kind of prepared for it. That there's nothing worse than suddenly being forced into making a decision. So much nicer just to have set your timer for 10 minutes and looked at what's coming up in the diary, instead of suddenly finding out, you know, in the morning, oh, the kids are meant to be going, you know, on a trip and we haven't got the special packed lunch for them. You know, so just a wee bit of forward planning can make a big difference. Oh, just hold on a wee minute. And please remember this week, I know a lot of you are loving the kind of back to basics videos and thinking that you have to go out and buy new folders and stickers and washi tape and get new apps on your phone. You don't need anything to get started, really. If you can find an old jotter of the kids, I'm sure if you've got kids, they've all got jotters that have got a few pages left in them. Just a jotter and a pencil, or this is one of the nice pens that I bought back, one of my clutter-free souvenirs from Japan. Just note down a few ideas. I was talking about the daily routines, morning routine and the evening routine. You don't have to be planning it all out before you can do something. Just jot down a few ideas. Don't worry about making a control journal and having to buy a new diary and all that. Please don't go down that route, because we've all been there, done that. And me, I'm included, hands up, officer, you can take me away, because I was the same. I thought I had to, oh, if only I had the right diary, or if only I had the right cleaning equipment, if only I had the most powerful vacuum cleaner, everything would be so much easier. No, the thing that's really going to change for you is if you actually, you know, get off your bahookie and make the decision that, okay, I'm just going to set my timer for 10 minutes and do something. Okay, whether it is doing a quick poopa, you know what the poopa is, P-U-P-A, pick up and put away. You don't need to be going out to buy anything. Please don't go buying anything, but just set your timer. And you don't even need to buy a timer, because I know a lot of you have, oh, I must buy a timer. Just use a timer which is on your stove top, or on your telephone. My favourite timer to use is like three songs, either from the radio or from one of my Spotify playlists. Just say to yourself today, I don't have to buy anything, I don't need to write, go planning anything in advance, just go and do something for 10 minutes. So on that note, I'm going to go off and do something for 10 minutes. And I'll tell you what we're going to be doing tomorrow for the last day, your SAC, day number 5 of our Back to Basics. We're going to be talking about pampering. Now that's what's called in the Flylady land. I prefer to call it self-care or self-preservation. And that is really going to be another one of the keystones, along with the daily routines, of making you have a nice organised life and taking away the stress. So on that note, I'm going to send you off with a wee rah rah rah, go team, rah rah rah. And give yourself a wee pat in the back. Hope you have a fantastic day. The sun has come back, which is good because I put my laundry out, I hung my laundry outside today before I went down for my skinny dip. But I knew it was going to rain, so I put it actually in the bike shed part, so it's covered. So anyway, hope you have a fantastic Little Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, and I'll see you on Instagram later today. Okay, live long and prosper, may the Danish sugar be with you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.